Hello, I'm Darren Buckner, co-founder and CEO of WorkFrom. We have built the world's largest platform to find physical spaces to work from. These are non-traditional workspaces. You can think coffee shops and cafes and co-working spaces all over the world. We've also built a pretty fantastic community around that, about 140,000 people who help us find these places all over the world and source the information to help other people know how good it is to work at these different locations. Our usage has changed. Our platform has helped people find physical places that they can work from. So these are places they go. And when people aren't leaving their homes and going to places, it changes the nature of how people were using our platform. In fact, we saw about a 95% drop in the usage of our platform. We understood that this was probably going to be a bigger problem for our business than maybe we had first understood or first thought. Having ourselves so wholly tied to physical places meant that we couldn't control our future in the ways that we probably needed to. And so we started to look at some of the virtual opportunities that we had been already doing in our community, or things we'd already been providing our community that were more virtual focused. And once we went back to kind of the drawing board, we started talking to a lot of people in the community. We talked to our mentors and our network, and we realized that there was something that had been happening for some time that people were really loving. And we looked at, could we do that at more scale? Could we build something that would help more and more people enjoy that, get more value from that? And sure enough, that's exactly what we decided to build. And we call these things virtual cafes. And they're really amazing. I can't wait to show you a virtual cafe. So we are now in a virtual cafe. A virtual cafe is much like a physical cafe in that people come and go all day long. They get work done in these spaces. You can see other people getting work done, and you can have casual banter or casual conversations in the form of chat today in a virtual cafe. They are also ambient spaces. So they have these, design backgrounds and theming. There's ambient sounds that you can't hear right now, but coffee shop sounds or cafe sounds or sounds of the city, all kinds of interesting things that you can bring into a virtual cafe. But they are really a totally immersive sort of experience that runs entirely in your browser and can be accessed from anywhere. You can see other people in the cafe here. There's one person now. I can pop around to different cafes. This is one of the coolest things about virtual cafes. You can go to lots of different cafes. So this is another virtual cafe where there are folks in here getting work done. And in this version of the experience, it can be either a group of people that know each other, or it can be complete strangers. And that's, again, some of the power of what we've built here, is that you can be around people from anywhere in the world. As long as they've got a computer and an internet connection, you now have a new group of coworkers available to you. There are no boundaries around location in a physical cafe. I work around people who are in Australia. We work around people who are in Kuala Lumpur or in London. All kinds of places around the world, and effectively it opens up your ability to connect with humans when you are not near humans, and that's the important thing. The background can actually be video or other types of media. So I don't know if you can see it here in this view, but there are things happening in the background, and so that gives you the sense of motion and ambience and sound and other types of things that are, again, part of that cafe experience, and really hard to do when you work from home or when you work from other types of places. Every cafe has a host, and the host pays us to run a cafe on our platform. WorkFrom is a brand and a community as well, and so we run our own cafes. So in this way, we're kind of our own customer, right? We run our own cafes, and cafes can be themed. We have a night owl cafe. We have a marketer's cafe, or we can do things like that for our community. And then other communities, other organizations, other networks will also host their cafes on our platform. Entirely their experience. We make the whole experience work for them. We set them up to be successful in that. They pay us to run that on our platform. In the future, you can imagine that this platform could effectively become the largest co-working space without physical space, right? Without owning a square foot of physical space. And in that world, we certainly could charge a membership, and it would look a lot more like what a co-working membership might look like, right? The future is, in many ways, I think, full of lots of opportunity, and I'm certainly an optimist. And so I look at, the challenges that I think all of us are facing right now um, are shared. We're all sort of in the same bucket, if you will, right now, or at least most of us are. And it's not great. A lot of what we are used to, a lot of the norms, a lot of what we really have come to value has been stopped or halted in some really terrible ways. A lot of carnage out there right now. A lot of people being hurt. A lot of families being ripped apart. It's not good times. Uh, but I do think that there's also opportunity. And one of the things that, I look for the silver linings. One of the things that I am hopeful about, and what I've been seeing during this time, is that people have been helping each other. We have found kind of community in a new and interesting way. We now are looking to our neighbors and looking to our friends and our families and trying to find ways to actively help. We're looking for new, innovative ways to connect and to be a part of everybody's lives. And we care, I think, in a more maybe suddenly acute way than we had in the past. And I think that will lead to a lot of innovation. I think that will lead to maybe stronger ties moving forward, and ultimately, hopefully, a stronger, brighter future for all of us. We now have, in many ways, a common enemy, and that can really bring people together. And I think that, we will do what humans always do, which is we will persevere. We will adapt, and I just hope that we can adapt in ways that don't really curtail our quality of life, but ultimately we find ways to still thrive.